Hello, this is Michael Riley. I've been on eBay for about over 20 years, and I'm getting fed up with. I know that other people can relate to this, and I don't think anybody's saying anything. The problem with eBay is, and it's always been a problem, that you can't communicate with eBay at all. I mean, they have a customer service, you can email them. They have a, we'll call you back. But when you get a hold of them, it's like talking to a wall. A couple of things are the reason. It's extremely, almost impossible. Well, I'm going to say it's impossible to get across to them, because I've never been successful in over 20 years. I've gotten a hold of them, but the problem is, like I said, it's like talking to a wall, and it's no exaggeration. Most of the time you're getting, I think in over 20 years, I've gotten one person that was in the United States, and I actually asked him, because he spoke normal English. The website's in English, okay, for the United States. It's in English. So you expect to speak with somebody. If I have a doctor, and this happened, I had a doctor and I couldn't understand him. It was no offense to the doctor and no offense to other people that speak other languages. No offense at all. But if I can't understand you, I don't want that doctor. It's dangerous, because I'm not going to understand maybe something he says, and it could mean my life. This eBay is not about your life, but it's about your livelihood. You're getting people on here. It's not only a speech barrier, extremely bad, heavy accents. It's bad communication, because you can't understand what they're saying. And in every case, I was going to say almost every case, but it's every case, I am repeating myself over and over and over and over and over. I'm repeating the same thing like 4 or 5, 6 times, because they don't seem to be understanding anything, or worse, even worse, and maybe both things, is that they're not listening. But I honestly don't believe they even understand what I'm saying most of the time. I mean, to have to keep repeating every single thing that you said, because they'll ask about, and you say, I just told you that, and you got to repeat it again. And 2 seconds later, you got to repeat it again, because you say it again. It's just insane. It's impossible to communicate with them. And when you get off the phone or done emailing with them, you expect something to be done. I've reported people abuse. I've reported people trying to rip me off. I've reported all kinds of stuff reported over the years. Nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. They don't do anything. I've reported people abusing return policy. The return policy is a clear policy that if it arrives damaged, broken, or faulty, or not as described, they can request a return, even if you have a no return policy, because it's defective, or it's not as described, or damaged, or whatever, faulty. I have, and always have had, because I sell appliance parts. The problem with what happens with appliance parts, and most distributors that sell parts distributors that sell parts, they have a no return policy, because people will buy a part and guess it what's wrong, and then put it on and either blow it up or destroy it because they installed it improperly because they don't want to call a service technician because they want to fix it themselves. And then they destroy the part, or they guessed wrong and they want to return it. You can't do that. Once a part is installed, it is no longer new. And so we, in places like Repair Clinic and all these companies that do this, Macomb Supply, they allow returns. You don't want to buy parts from them. Seriously, you do not want to buy parts from them. Because what they do is, everybody's had this happen. You go to Home Depot and you buy something and the box has been opened. And it's the only one left. So you take it home and there's stuff missing, or there's stuff broken in it, or it doesn't work. It's because somebody took it home, damaged it, ruined it, and took it back. The same thing happens with appliance parts. The same thing happens. So these places like Repair Clinic and Macomb Supply that's on eBay, taking returns, do not buy parts from them. Or you're possibly going to get a part somebody's returned. Where they bought it, they were guessing at the problem, and then they send it back because that's not in by another part that they think it is. So you get all these used parts that Macomb Supply is selling as new. That's actually against federal law. Okay, you can't do that. And there's the problem. That's why there's no return policy. And these buyers think that they can just, like the old thing that was always talked about, women they would buy a dress and then they'd wear it out to this function and they'd take it back the next day. It's kind of like along those lines, you know? I mean, that's just terrible. Buy something, wear it for something that you're going to go to, and then take it back the next day. I mean, I don't buy into that kind of garbage. That's ridiculous. It's basically just stealing, you know? I mean, so anyways, this is what this return policy is, and it's very, very clear on their website. Seller does not accept returns. When I put that I don't want returns, it says it right on their return policy on my ad of the item that I'm selling. It says it right on there. I don't take returns. And it has a link to go to details about it, and the other thing about that is that they say, if eBay says that if the buyer wants to return something because they changed their mind or something, it's not allowed. You know, you bought the wrong thing, that's your problem. There's no returns. It says right on the ad. Before you purchase. It's right there by the pay button. You can't miss it. But buyers are so used to getting away because eBay's been allowing the violation of the policy. And this has to stop. The reason it's getting worse and it's causing a tremendous problem is because eBay is stealing from the sellers. Because what they're doing is they're forcing us, when a buyer insists, here's the policy right here. It says, if the item arrived damaged, broken, or faulty, you must add at least one image relevant to the reason you're returning the item, showing any scratches or defects. They're not doing that. And eBay's not requiring it, but it's in the policy. So these non-English speaking bozos that are running eBay are just, this has been going on for 20 years. They're consistent about this. They don't enforce the policy. I have, and I've written back and I respond right away on these people, these buyers that do this, and say, and a lot of times they're honest about it. I bought the wrong thing. It's not my fault. There's no returns. I'm sorry. And I have the option, sell it on eBay or whatever, but there's no returns. You saw that before you purchased. It costs me money to do this. eBay actually gives them back the return money, the shipping cost. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then they charge me to ship the thing back to me. And I have no return policy. So they're totally going against our policy. It's stated in black and white. I mean, it's just very clear. It's right here. Select a reason for a return. If the item is damaged, broken, or faulty, you must add at least one image relevant to the reason you're returning the item and showing any scratches or defects. My policy, no other returns accepted. No returns. Right here, seller does not accept returns. That's right on the ad. It's crazy. This is, seller does not accept returns. This is my return policy on every one of the items that I sell. If you change your item, you'll return the item, accept your return. You changed your mind about an item. Accept your return request and offer a full refund. I'm not doing that because I don't have returns. You'll return the item. How the seller may respond to your request. You have 3 business days to get it back to you. They have. The seller has 3 business days to get back to you. How they respond depends on the reason for the return. You accept your return request or offer a partial refund, a replacement or exchange, decline your return request. Sellers can decline your return request. If you changed your mind about an item and they stated in the listing, they don't accept returns. Or if you missed the seller's deadline to start a return or send you a message. So that's what I always do, is just send them a message and I decline it. I decline it after I send them a message and tell them that I have no returns, and it's right in the ad, right by the purchase button. If they missed it, I'm sorry, but it's on there, and I screenshot it and send it over to them, and I explain it to them. So I respond right away in every one of these cases where these people do this. And they do it because they're not being honest. They read it. And when I decline the request, I do it after I send them a message and tell them that I'm sorry, maybe you can sell it on eBay or whatever, but there's a no return policy. It's right there on the ad. That's when they get this high and mighty attitude. They call their credit card company and lie to the credit card company, put in a chargeback because they're getting their money back. They don't care what I say. I mean, it's just unbelievable, the attitude of these people. And some of them don't do that, and they'll go to eBay, and then eBay goes along with them. The policy's right there. It's not allowed. So what's happening is they are allowing these buyers to do this, and when I send them a message back, or even if I do the decline your return request, eBay is saying that I am not responding to them. Because apparently eBay is not reading, and I've reported them, the buyers at times too, right to eBay. So they should know, but they're not reading the messages. But eBay is forcing us. Here's another section I'm reading here, right here on their policy. Once you request a return, the seller should get back to you within 3 purchases. See the seller's refund policy, including how long you have to return the address. If the seller states in their policy they don't accept return, you can ask them if they'll make an exception. They ask me and I say no. If the item doesn't match the listing description or is faulty or damaged, you may be eligible for money. The problem is that as soon as they contact eBay, then eBay talks about if they have to escalate it because the customer asks them to step in, then eBay considers it as cases closed without a seller resolution. And they keep track of those. And here's a result of 3 transactions from September 22 to August 23. 3 transactions out of 776 transactions. They consider this cases closed without seller resolution. 0.39%. It's not even 1%. It's 0.39%. A case closed without seller resolution is any case the seller is unable to resolve with the buyer prior to the buyer asking us to step in and help with the request, and eBay determines the seller is responsible. Well, in every case, they determine we're responsible because they're just going to return it to them. That's what's happening. And it's been happening for 20 years. Although their policy is not to allow it. But they do when the buyer contacts them. Even though we've responded to them, I've responded to them. All 3 of these I responded to. This one was part was on factory back orders. Nothing I could do. I kept letting the buyer know, and he went in and put in a not received, and I'd already told him that it was going to be at a certain date when the factory was shipping it to me. There's nothing I could do. And he put in a not received. He already knew it wasn't received. This one, the tracking was entered. The post office never delivered it. It's like weird. The tracking is still to this day. That was April 25th. The tracking to this day, if you pull up the tracking, it's actually gone now, but it was still not delivered. It disappeared. I had 2 packages like that with 2 different customers. One eBay and one was regular customer. And this one, customer ordered the wrong part and said he ordered the wrong part, and then forced he ordered the wrong part. There's no returns. End of story by eBay's policy. Nope. eBay gave him his money back because he forced the issue with him. Never sent a picture of the part because it wasn't faulty. The part was the wrong part. He ordered the wrong part. And there's a big long description in the part and what model numbers and everything else they apply to. He ordered the wrong part. It was his fault. I had a back and forth communication with him and told him there's no... So he did what all the sneaky people do. He just stopped responding and then contacted eBay and forced a return against their policy. Because they cave every time the buyer asks, they cave. Up here at the top, you saw this caused me to be below standard because of three in a year that were not my fault. Neither one of these were my fault. They put them on me, and said that I'm below standard with my eBay account. They said I'm below standard with my eBay account because these three that were not my fault. And because of this, they are taking outrageous fees from my account now. Right here. Let me do this at 100% so it's clear to see. Fee below standard performance. Here's the regular fee, which is outrageous anyways, for selling this item. 13.25%. It's just ridiculous that they get, eBay gets. But look at this other fee. Below standard performance fee. Because they forced these three things on me, and they called them closed without resolution. I talked to all three people. I resolved it with the person. There's nothing more I could do. So they're charging me another 6% off my sale. Of every sale, of all my sales. This isn't just one sale. This is on every single sale. They've made me below standard. Now, I'm now below standard because of these. 3 in 776 transactions that weren't even my fault. This is criminal what they're doing. Look at this. $7, and they're doing it per item. There's a quantity of 8 here. So they're taking 6%, which is $7 off this $118 for the core item price, plus the tax and the shipping. They're adding the tax and the shipping on, and then taking the percentage off the tax and the shipping. That's a whole nother issue. That's criminal in itself. It should be off just the item, the $99.95, not off the tax and shipping. Why are we paying a percent to eBay off the tax and the shipping? This is insane. And then they take another 6% because they are forced me to be non-standard, below standard, because they said I was to fault for not closing this case with the seller resolution. The seller was not going to agree with me. There's nothing more I could do. The resolution was, the policy says they can't be returned if it's not faulty or defective. These people, this was not faulty or defective or damaged. Neither 3 of these were. This one, I would have sent out another one to the person. But the person got all belligerent with me. And that's where we left it. And then they disappeared on me, and they got a hold of eBay. I never had a chance to offer them another one because the post office never got it to them. It's I'm sure they never got it, or now they have 2 of them if I send another one. So the thing is this is ridiculous. This is criminal what they're doing. They're charging us, they're forcing us into something that's not true. I contacted these people, but there's no resolving it with them. These people are just belligerent. They want return it. They don't care what the policy is. eBay has to back the seller up and say, he tried to get a hold of you. Read the messages back and forth with the buyer. eBay needs to read them. But I don't think these people, these CSRs, can read English. This is one of the biggest problems, is that when you talk to them, they can't even understand you in English. I don't know if they can even read English, and I'm not being snide or anything. It's just a fact. Because nothing that happens is right. This is not right. They're saying these are my fault? No, they're not. And that's causing me to be below standard? A 0.39%, 3 out of 700. That's insane. That's insane for one. That's just totally ridiculous to have this kind of BS as a standard to make you below standard. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But it is. It's so they can make more money. Look what they're doing. They're doing this to millions of people. Force them to be below standard, threatening them, and then just bilking them out of money. Look at how much money this is insane. $896 was my sale on this. They took $182 from me. $182. All I got was $714. They took almost $200 of my money. They're not entitled to that. That's robbery. They're stealing money from all of us. People need to start speaking up. Look at this. They multiplied it times 8 because there was 8 items in here. 99.95 times 8. And same thing, 709 they multiplied. So it was $56 extra that they got for the 6% they added on for this below standard performance that they caused me to have. This wasn't anything that I did wrong. I responded to these people. There needs to be class action lawsuit. And I'm asking everybody that sees this to go through your records as well. And if you're fed up with this needs to stop. eBay is ripping people off. We can't allow this. The same thing that's going on with their counterfeit policy. I've got a product that I designed, and I got Macomb Supply and a couple other people that stole my design, are manufacturing them in China and selling knockoffs, which is against eBay policy. You can't sell knockoffs of counterfeit products on eBay. But eBay's allowing it. I've reported it a million times, and eBay won't do anything. They won't do anything. Because they're making millions of dollars off all this knockoff stuff, especially the stuff that's coming from China. Everybody knows how many Chinese products are on eBay. If they stop the knockoffs, but the problem is they're stopping the knockoffs for watches, for purses. They have a campaign right now that they have out that is about stopping all the knockoff products. It's called Everyone Deserves Real. So everyone deserves real. The details inspected, the fakes rejected. Luxury with authenticity, expertly inspected for your peace of mind. Favorites of your expert authentication. Real kicks checked by sneakerheads. Fine jewelry, certified and certified. Verified and certified. Make sure your watch is the real deal. Luxury handbags, verified real. They're doing this now, but they're not doing it for everything. They're only doing it for the things they want. But the counterfeit policy clearly states no knockoffs, no counterfeit, and that's what this is all about, is everyone deserves real. So I've been contacting them about Macomb Supply and all these appliance parts places. They're selling aftermarkets. That's a knockoff. But they won't do anything about them. And all these Chinese companies, they won't do anything about them. There needs to be a class action lawsuit. The policy, the counterfeit policy is you're not allowed to sell on eBay knockoffs or replacement or counterfeits of another product. of an OEM product. That's what the deserves real is all about. No knockoffs. Fakes rejected. Right there. Everyone deserves real. The details inspected. The fakes rejected. That's what the counterfeit policy states. That all the knockoffs are not allowed on eBay. But eBay is allowing them. And this has to stop. There's several things. eBay is stealing our money. They're allowing other people to sell products and copy our products. This Macomb Supply, they actually bought one of my harnesses, took it and sent it to be made in China, stole my design, because it's never been made before. It's an OEM product I made. And then their attitude was to bully me when I contacted them. Prove it. Wow, really? Unbelievable. They've been around since 1953. And they're acting like that. They're stealing people's products and making aftermarket counterfeits made in China. And these ones are actually have a connector they're using is a subpar part that actually is allowed to catch fire and flame drip. It's not a safe part. And they're selling them. eBay needs to stop with this garbage that they're doing to everybody. This is criminal what they're doing. And we need to stop this. People contact me. I'm working on getting a class action lawsuit against eBay for all these things I've spoken about, especially for not following their own policies. The return policy, they're forcing us, and everybody, this has happened to everybody, they're forcing you to return something. Let them return something when it's not damaged or anything. There's nothing wrong with it. And you message them back and you decline the request, and you still get forced to return it, and they count it as a closed without resolution. When you did resolve it, you declined it and you told the customer it's not returnable. You can't just change your mind. There's a return policy, but eBay is not backing their policy. They're not enforcing it, and they're not backing the seller. They're caving to every single one of these buyers and just letting them all get their money back. And if you refund on something that's returned, you're only allowed to refund, take off 50%. That's BS. You're allowed to take off everything. You got shipping, you got importing, you got all kinds of costs that are involved in that. But eBay can't tell you what that item costs. They bought it for the 100% value. You can refund whatever you wish. I mean, eBay's just like trying to tell us what to do out here. And they're telling us what their policies are, but they're not enforcing their policies. The return policy, they're not enforcing it. They're forcing us to return them, and they're still saying cases closed without resolution, and then they're taking money from us with extra 6% or more, taking tons of money from us, making us a criminal when we didn't do anything wrong. I did everything to close those resolutions. There was no resolving it with the customer because they wanted to return it, whether there was a return policy in effect or not. That's where eBay needs to back us up. But they're doing the opposite. They're just agreeing with them and then penalizing us for not agreeing with them and just returning it when they're violating the return policy. And so is eBay. This has to be a class action. And now it's costing us millions with everybody of all these outrageous additional fees they're charging us because they're forcing us to take returns when the policy says we don't have to. And then penalizing us with all these extra fees because we didn't take it back when the policy said we didn't have to. This is insane. Class action needs to be started for this. And people need to all get their money back. This is insane. 13 whatever it was percent, and then another 6%, $182, almost $200 off a $900 order. Are you freaking kidding me? eBay, you don't deserve taking all that money. But then taking the percentage off the item, that should be all they do the percentage on, is the item. But they're adding the tax and the shipping on top of it to get a higher total. That's not right either. That's criminal. What right do they have to take a percentage off the tax and the shipping? They don't. And then they have the shipping in here that you can get, and you're saving 25%. No, you're not, because you just charged me 13.5% on top of that shipping that I'm charging the customer. So you're getting that money back yourself. We're not getting anything. We already paid for that shipping when we paid you that percentage off the shipping. You see what's happening, people? eBay is ripping us off every chance they get, and people are not saying anything. It's time. We have to say something, and we've got to get a class action. Contact me when you see this video. Please let me know that you're involved, and I'll give you my email. You could send me over your contact information. I'm working on getting a lawyer, a firm, to start a class action, to be the principal of it, and as soon as I can get it going, or if a lawyer's watching this, contact me if you have information about a firm that can do the class action. I've done this before with the class action. It's hard. It takes a little bit to find a company that'll do it. And that's what I'm in the process of doing right now. But if there's a lawyer watching this, if you can help me out, I surely would appreciate it. We got millions of people that this is being done to. It's wrong. It's criminal what they're doing. It's got to stop. And we need to be reimbursed. And eBay needs to stop and start enforcing their policies. This is ridiculous. And they need to get people that communicate with us, that can communicate with us. You get off the phone or done emailing or whatever with these people, nothing ever gets done. Oh, yes, we do. We do that for you. We do, yes, we do that. That's how it sounds to me. I don't understand what they're saying. It sounds like, yeah, we'll do that. But I don't know if they even understand what I said. And I wasn't trying to make fun there. That's what it sounds like. It is foreign to me. Plenty of them were in the Philippines that I've talked to. I asked them. But the other thing is when you're talking to them, if you say, I don't understand what you're saying, they get upset. They get upset. It's unbelievable how angry they get with you because you say you don't understand what they're saying. Are you kidding? We're on an English-speaking site. eBay, you need to have English-speaking people that speak clear English. I'm sorry, but I'm just not politically correct here. And I'm not gonna be. Not when you're ripping me off for all this frickin' money. And then when you contact you, nothing ever gets solved. You got a buyer that's being abusive, trying to rip you off, sending you back parts that are damaged, they're returning that are damaged, and you guys, you don't respond? And you call and email, and you don't respond? Are you kidding? We need to speak to people that can speak our language. That's another part of the lawsuit. Unable to communicate with eBay. That's a legitimate part of a lawsuit. We need to be able to communicate. We have problems. You make all these promises in your promises and your policies and rules. You don't enforce any of them. They're all lies. They're lies. The return policy, total lie. You're forcing us to return them to them, even though I have no return on everything. And they're not damaged to people, or it's because they don't want it, they ordered the wrong thing, or whatever. And I've responded to them. But then you're saying I didn't. Read the damn messages. You're not reading the messages that I responded to them. If you did, you wouldn't be doing this. But you're not honest. eBay, you're not honest. So you still are going to do it even if you read the messages. Because this is what you're doing. You're bilking us and nobody's doing anything about it. It's time we stop eBay from doing this. Everybody out there, send this to all your friends and let's get everybody ignited to stop eBay from ripping us off. This has to stop. And we've got to sue them for everything they have, get back what they've taken from us wrongly. Counterfeit products, return policy, stealing from us, all this additional, forcing us to be below standard when we're doing nothing wrong. We're enforcing the return policy, but eBay says we're not, and we're not responding and resolving it with the customer, but we're enforcing our refund policy as it's written, as eBay wrote it, but eBay's not backing us up, enforcing their own policy. So they're penalizing us for not violating their policy. You get where you see the problem? They want us to violate their policy also. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to just lose money because eBay wants us to return the customer money when their policy says we don't have to. People, contact me. Let's get this started, and we need to hold eBay legally responsible for all that they've done wrong here. And we need to recover the money that they've stolen from us, because they have stolen it. They've stolen plenty from me with this violation of their policies that they're violating and then forcing us to violate, suggesting we violate. I'm not going to do it. I have a business to run, and they're ripping me off all this money. It's hard to run my business with them taking all this money for no reason. It's fabricated what they did. It's criminal what they did. So please, get worked up about this, please, because I know people are upset and most people just don't do anything. Please respond to I'm going to have my email where this is located. Email me their information so I can give it to the class action committee, and we can get everybody on board here. There's going to be eventually there'll be a website for this class action. eBay, we're coming to get you. We're done. We're done with this garbage of how you're treating everybody. You're just ripping us off, and you're ignoring our problems when we try to contact you. It's almost impossible to get a hold of you. And when we do, we can't even communicate with you. It's insane. Time's come for you to start standing up and doing the right things. Because you're not so far. You're ripping me off big time. You got me below standard. Are you kidding? I haven't done anything wrong. Post office didn't deliver it. I'm communicating with the customer. I can get him another one, but the guy just stops responding, and I can't do anything if he doesn't respond to me, and he goes to eBay. And they force giving him a refund. When it doesn't, it's not justified. It's unbelievable. Or the one guy changed his mind. No, he ordered the wrong parts, what he did. He admitted that. I said, there's no refunds. Sell it on eBay. Put an ad on eBay. I was nice about it. He's not going to do that. He wants his money back. He wants his way. Even though it violates the return policy. And eBay should have backed me up and said, no. If you change your mind and you ordered wrong thing, it's you can't return it. That's the policy. It was stated when you bought it. And eBay has their return policy in force. But they didn't back me up. They just forced me to give him. They gave him his money back and then said that I didn't resolve it and penalized me by taking 6% more out of my money of sales. All my sales are hit like that one. Every single sale I have, they're taking an additional 6% out of them. It's unbelievable. I didn't do anything wrong. That's why I'm livid. I know you can tell that, and I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I am fed up with this. Over 20 years of this garbage with the illegal actions of eBay. Somebody needs to do something about it, and I'm going to do something. So please join in with me. Contact me, my email, and let's take eBay to task. They need to be held responsible for all their wrongs for all these years. If it puts them under, it puts them under. I don't care what happens. They're not being truthful with us. They're scamming people. They're ripping us off, stealing money from us. They're not available when we have a problem. You can't communicate with them. It's just, we got to chop them off at the knees. It's just that simple. This has to stop now. Okay? Once again, my name is Michael Riley. Please contact me for more information about this class action lawsuit against eBay. We need to stop this. And eBay needs to start following their own policies and stop breaking the law. Okay? All right. Take care. Thank you. Bye.